Welcome to the Easy Computer Fixes channel, and here is a quick video to show you how to improve the speed of your Windows computer. Now, first things first, if your computer has been on the same Windows install since 2, 3, 4 years, probably the first thing you should actually think of is to reformat and reinstall a fresh copy of Windows. That will give it speed, especially if it's been on the same install for many years. One of the problems with a reinstall or reformatting of your computer is that it's not always easy, and a lot of people actually find that they just don't know how to do it. So one thing you can do is go to a computer repair shop and have a reinstall of your Windows. But if it's not an option, because in some cases it's not an option, a lot of people have programs installed, and I see it all the time because I'm a tech guy here in Montreal. I can tell you that sometimes reformatting a computer is not it's not possible. You know, the person doesn't have its CDs, doesn't have any of its disks. So what do? If you don't have a reformat or reinstall possible for whatever reason, then what you can do is, first of all, go into your programs and check all the programs, uninstall all the programs that you don't use. So to do that, you just go to your start menu on the lower left, go into the control panel. There you will have, if it's in the large icon view, you click Programs and Feature. If it's in the category view, then just go into Programs and uninstall a program. And you'll have the list of all installed programs, all software that's installed on your computer. Now, a word of caution about this: don't uninstall everything, or don't uninstall stuff you don't know what it is. That's the biggest problem about people that want to just, clean up their computer a little too intense. They get into problems because they just remove features of Windows that are really important. So check that list. Check for software that you've been installed. Maybe you've installed some pieces of software and you know that you don't use it anymore. Then uninstall. For example, I don't use GIMP. Then I'll click uninstall on the top, and then I'll say yes. And you just let the computer uninstall the software. A lot of times it's going to ask you for a restart of your computer, but not always. Like in this case, it didn't ask it. But it might say, well, you need to restart your computer. That's one thing that might happen here. So go through the list slowly. If you don't know what it is, you can Google a software. So for example, if you didn't know what, let's look at, for example, VLC Media Player here. Suppose you don't know what that is. You can go on Google and just type VLC Media Player, or what is. So for example, I would go on Google. And so let's go into Google here, google.ca or .com, depending on where you are. Anyways, you'll be directed to the good Google version. And so once you are on the Google page, you can actually just type what is VLC Media Player, and you'll have a thing come up which is fairly brand new in Google. It says web definition: VLC Media Player is a free and open source media player and multimedia framework. So you can check whatever it is and see, do you really need it or not. So Google things you don't know, and of course, if you really don't understand what a piece of software or a program that is installed here does, don't remove it. Because one of the problems that people have is that often they remove drivers. It's not always written. For example, here I have an adapter that says, well, this is a PL2303 Vista driver. I know that's a driver for a piece of hardware, but it's not always written like that. Sometimes it's written simply as a software name or a company name, and you just don't know what it is. So if you don't want to remove important features, be careful what you remove from that program list. So that's the first thing you can do. Another thing that happens with Windows is the fact that as you install new software, you get all sorts of programs that start up with a computer. Some of them are visible here on the right side of the taskbar because you have all these little icons, and what's on the right side is usually something that's actually live, working in the background, doing something in your computer. So that's something that you want to check for. So how do you do that? Well, you can go once again in the Start menu and search for, if you have Windows XP, there's Execute or Run. So you can click Run. If you're in Windows Vista or 7, that little search box, you can type MS Config, which is Microsoft configuration. So MS Config. So in Windows XP, you just click Run, type MS Config. In Windows Vista, Windows 7, just type MS Config in the search box. Press Enter, and you'll be greeted to that little system configuration window. Now, the word of caution here, the only place you should go play around is what's called Startup. Click on the Startup, and there you'll have a list of all the programs that run in your computer. So this is a list of everything that loads while you are waiting for Windows to start up when you turn on your computer or when you restart. The idea is to have as little programs running or starting up at the same time as your Windows machine. So what you'll do is take out the little check marks here on the left side of all the pieces of software that are not necessary. Now keep in mind that by taking out these little check marks, most of the time you're not really disabling the program, you're just disabling a part of the program that makes, for example, loading faster. An example of that, there's Microsoft Office. Microsoft Office will have a little package load up before, even if you don't use it, for the only reason that when you click Word or Excel or PowerPoint, it's just going to go quicker because part of it's already in memory. So it's not really necessary, because if you don't use Word every day, one of the things that's going to happen is that that little piece or that little program loads up, it's there, it's running in the background doing something, and it just slows down your computer in general. Now on a very fast computer that might not show up, but in a very slow computer or in old computer it can make a difference, and you can see a difference when you uncheck these little programs there. So uncheck. If you are not sure what you're doing, what I suggest most of the time is go through the list. Start by unchecking things that you might know what they are. If you don't know, then uncheck one at a time and restart your computer. Because every time you uncheck something or make a modification here, what's going to happen is that when you apply that modification and click OK, in Windows XP, it might say, well, you want to restart your computer right now. So you'll say yes. If you're in Windows Vista or 7, then you'll restart your computer and you'll check for any problems that might show up or any missing options that you might have on your computer. So go one check mark at a time if you don't know what you're doing. Why? Because if you only take one check mark, and if something's missing or something's wrong, you know that you can go back to the MS Config and type once again the MS Config. So just go to the startup and put that check mark back where you took it off. And you know that when you restart, things are going to be back to normal. If you take out all the check marks, for example, if you click disable all, the big problem with disable all is that if something goes wrong with one of those pieces of software that needs to load, you just won't know which one it is because they're all taken out at the same time. By going one by one, you're going logically. And so you know that if something's wrong, you know what you took out the day before. So these are little tips and tricks of how you can make your computer go faster. There's a lot of other things, but these are the easy ones, the ones that most people are able to do. And so go through your program list, go through the Microsoft config file that I've shown you there on the startup, and restart a computer. There's a pretty good chance that you'll see a big difference. And one last bit of information about a slow computer. Always make sure that you have a antivirus check and malware check. So, you know, scan your computer for viruses and malware. I've noticed that a lot of slow computers will have malware installed on them. Slow computers will often also have slow internet connections because of malware that try to do or redirect you to other parts of the web. So that's another good idea. And overall, if you go through all of these little steps, there's a good chance your computer is going to run faster. And even if it doesn't become top shape like it was the day you bought it, at least you should have something that runs better and maybe crashes less. So if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to our channel. If you have any comments, questions, maybe a video of some feature of any device, Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, let us know and we'll try to put that video online and help you understand how to fix or easily fix common problems with your computers. And by suggesting different Fixit videos, you'll also be helping others. So it's kind of a community here. Of course, if you see people asking questions and you got an answer, you can go away and just answer them on the chat just at the bottom of the videos. So thanks for watching and hope you come back to the Easy Computer Fixes. Bye bye.